Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is David and I talk a lot about books, whether they're horror, sci-fi, fantasy, that type of thing. I mean, I like to talk a lot about Stephen King as well because that's my main author. He is my go-to author to read books because I'm reading all of his work in order. But anyway, today's book really surprised me because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I just thought, okay, it's a short book and it's one I can tick off and just say, right, that's actually one more I've actually read this year, so I could add into my reading count. Um, but it was an absolute joy to pick up. It didn't drag at all for me, or if it did, it was only in little minute places throughout the story. And that's obviously being We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. This, I mean, Shirley Jackson is a American author that was born on the 14th of December 1916 and died on the 8th of August 1965. And this was published on the 21st of September 1962. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, guys. And there was a movie based on it that was released over in America on the 17th of May 2019. Because of the coronavirus, I don't know whether that happened. So if you're over in America and you watch my videos, let me know. I don't know when and if it will come over over to the UK. If it does, I'll give it a watch. I'm not expecting very high, aspirations for the movie. But the book was really good. I thought it was going to be a horror going in, but it isn't. It is a mystery slash drama. I found out while doing this video, I was actually researching, and there was actually some theatre productions based on this book as well. In 1966, there was a stage play at the Ethel Barrymore Theatre on Broadway. It had 11 performances of it. In 2010, there was a musical version of it in New Hampshire, in Connecticut. So, not sure how they could have done a musical version of this. It would have been interesting if I could find it on YouTube, but yeah, hey. So, before I get into this video, I just want to say that, as always, this is going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to spoil anything for the book in case you want to read this, because I know some of my subscribers that actually watch my videos want to know my opinion on this. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, because I like you going into books fresh. And also, as always, this is going to be my thoughts and opinions regarding this book. So, the storyline. What is the storyline to We Have Always Lived in the Castle? It opens up introducing us to our main character, who is called Mary Catherine Blackwood, and who is actually referred to pretty much throughout the book as a shortened nickname of Mary Cat. At first I thought that this was a nickname, but it's a way of them shortening her name down every time that they talk to her. And she is an 18-year-old girl who, in the book, she is walking around the town or this little village where she lives, and she's doing shopping for her sister Constance, who we find out that has actually been staying in the Blackwood mansion all of her, well, pretty much throughout most of her life, ever since that she was accused of accidentally murdering her whole family with arsenic poisoning, because they were all having a meal, and the arsenic was actually prepared in a sugar bowl, and that was the only thing that was cleaned at the time. All the dishes and all that stuff was all left on the table and all dirty, but the sugar bowl was the only thing that was cleaned. And Constance was put on trial for it. She was what's the proper word. She wasn't found guilty of the crime because it wasn't enough evidence to convict her. So ever since that moment, she has been staying inside the Blackwood mansion and on their grounds throughout the story. She doesn't go to the village at all. That's not something that she doesn't do. She doesn't hate the people that live there. She doesn't despise the people that live there, but she feels more comfortable staying in the mansion and on the grounds. She's actually cut herself, and in doing so, she's cut herself off from the outside world and the people that live in the village. Obviously, you have people throughout the story that come to the Blackwood mansion that visit her, like that they sit down with her and they have a chat and they have some tea and they talk about random stuff, and they're obviously friends. As I said, Mary Cat is walking through the village. She's going through all the different shops. She's going through the grocers and the library because she's got a massive shopping list from Constance of stuff that she needs to get. And Mary Cat is a very interesting character. She constantly keeps her distance from everyone, especially males. She doesn't like to walk near men or have any eye contact with either anyone in the village regarding whether they're men or female. She doesn't openly have a conversation with people. In fact, she goes out of her way to try to avoid human contact as much as she possibly can. Whether it's like crossing a road deliberately to avoid someone or a group of people. She constantly refers to people in the village as she wants them to be dead, and constantly constantly acknowledges that she wants to walk on their dead bodies. When Mary Cat goes to the Blackwood mansion and like gives all the shopping to her sister Constance, who is 28, I found while researching this video, we find that their relationship with each other, Mary Cat and Constance, because they're sisters, they are extremely close. Their whole world and existence revolves around their two friendships together. They are so incredibly strong, even debatably even more stronger than most people's relationships. Not Constance. Mary Cat has a cat called Jonas, who, if you've seen like covers of the book, not on this one, but if you've seen other covers on the internet and there's like a cat on the cover, that's Mary Cat's cat, Jonas. And Jonas and Mary Cat are always together. Jonas is the family cat, but I think Jonas is a boy cat. Spends most of his time around Mary Cat, and they go out in the fields and by the lakes and the rivers and have a wander around the Blackwood estate. Mary Cat has a sort of a hiding place in a I think it's either at the foot of a tree or inside of a tree that she uses as a sort of hiding place. Like she has like all these leaves and branches on the floor as a sort of a mattress, and she spends most of her time there talking to Jonas, her cat, or resting and getting away from everything. She has a strange obsession about burying stuff in the ground. I'm not sure why this is. I think it's a more of a act of either respect for their previous owner for these objects, she does this quite often. I mean, if she knows you, and if you got like a specific toy that is important to you, like a teddy bear, and you have died or you've gone away or she wants to remember you, and she has that teddy bear, that special toy of yours, she'll take it and bury it somewhere on the Blackwood estate. And I think that, I mean, it's never really explained about why exactly she does this, but I personally think that she does it as a sort of respect for the new individual. And yeah, and she also has a book, like her father's book, that was like one of the victims of the arsenic killing murders, or accident. I'm not sure whether it was something intentional that Constance done or did, or whether it was an accident, or if someone else completely done the murder. But I'm not sure. But anyway, Mary Cat has a book that belonged to her father, and I think that this was the book, sort of like a book that her father wrote all the people in it that owed him money, and she has taken this book and physically nailed it to a tree as sort of a symbolic act of a way of protecting them and their house and their estate from people from outside, specifically in the village and the outside world. Throughout researching this book, as I always do for these videos, it's actually referred to as she brings up a lot about witchcraft that she comes into it. You're actually, even if you research this book and this these are characters, you'll actually be mentioned with a lot about witchcraft stuff. Constance and Mary Beth aren't witches, but what they do can be considered as sort of like witchcraft acts, if that makes sense. Sort of like protective spells, like the book being nailed to the tree to protect the house, or Mary Cat's obsession about burying stuff in the garden, or even Mary Beth and Constance always staying inside the house, especially Constance, who doesn't ever leave the estate. Whether it's inside a Blackwood mansion or on the grounds. She does go outside, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't leave the actual physical grounds of the Blackwood estate. So as the story progresses, we find out there is another family member that survived the arsenic murders of the Blackwood family, and his name is Julian. Is your Uncle Julian Blackwood, and Julian, I think he's an elderly man who is in a wheelchair, and he is extremely eccentric, and he doesn't know exactly what's happening around him or what he's saying. Whether it's a form of dementia, I think that's what it could actually be. But it's never really described as being dementia. It's in the book, it's always described as Julian being an eccentric character. But he's not crazy or anything like that. He is a very caring and loving person who spends most of his time outdoors with Mary Cat and Constance, and he is an active member of the family. But what he in his personal mind, he thinks and believes that Mary Cat died in the Blackwoods arsenic murders. He thinks that Mary Cat is dead, even though she is physically in front of him and he can physically see her. In Julian's mind, he regards Mary Cat as being dead, not just not just mentally, like physically dead. And throughout the novel as well, Julian is writing numerous letters and documents regarding his experience with the Blackwood murders and his experience with them. He doesn't talk a lot of sense. He's kind of in his own little world. So that's the main three members of the family: is Mary Cat, Constance, who are both sisters, and Uncle Julian, and also Jonas, who I consider as a member of the family, because Jonas, even though he is a cat and he can't talk, I consider him as a member of the Blackwood family. And also the Blackwood mansion or estate is a character in this book. It is not just a building. Like, because I've actually read, this is the second book I've actually read by Shirley Jackson. The first being The Haunting of Hill House, which in that book, which was really good as well. But in the book, Hill House is a character, in that novel, as well as the Blackwood Mansion is not just a building. It's not just bricks and glass and like piping. It is an actual breathing character. It isn't haunted like Haunting of Hill House or even Stanley or even not Stanley or even The Shining. The Overlook Hotel in The Shining. It isn't haunted, but it's implied that it might be haunted. But when you read this book, because it's very short, my copy is about 150 pages. But when you read it, you'll know what I mean. So as the story progresses, we find out that there is a character called Charles Blackwood who comes to the Blackwood estate, who is Constance and Mary Cat's cousin, and he comes there and he tries to, with the sole intention of like getting hold of their father's money that's locked in this safe, because he believes that they've got like a large amount of money stowed away in this safe, and he wants to basically go there and like try to require it. His actually motivations are very high. His actual motivations aren't really like glossed over. They go straight to the point in this novel. And he tries to control the household as well. He tries to control Constance and tries to say, oh, well, you're being silly about like always looking after Mary Cat, who should be looking after herself, and Uncle Julian should be in a home. And he tries to control them. Even when he gets into the house, he tries to take over the role of Mary Cat. Not Mary Cat. Mary Cat and Constance's role as their father, because Charles looks like their father. And then as the story continues on, we find out that there is a disaster that happens at the Blackwood estate. I won't say what it is, because again, I don't want to spoil it, but it's but yeah, it's like really, really good. It really is good. I can't really recommend this book enough, really. I thought this was going to be one that was going to just like tick off my list and say, right, that's actually one more book I've read in 2020. But no, I really like this book. So yeah, the ending is like really good as well. It's more of it feels like a fairy tale ending, really, and it's really satisfying ending as well. Everything's all like neatly all like done up as well, and all come to a relative conclusion I actually liked. So the likes are actually, so the things I liked about this book, the characters. I liked Mary. I like Mary Cat, Constance, Uncle Julian, and to a certain extent, Charles Blackwood as well. The things I didn't like about it are so minute and so small and petty. I can't even nitpick. It'll be like nitpicking all the little things. It's saying, oh, I didn't like this scene, or I didn't like the way this character said this, or the way they reacted to this. I suppose I could like say that on one of my dislikes was how Charles was being such a like a manipulative. Sorry, I have a stutter. Like a manipulative, so like a conniving person, or a, such as a con man who is trying to like get or actually take away this, like these two sisters who are both incredibly likable, even though they're a bit weird and strange at sometimes, and try to actually pull the rug out of their, underneath their feet, if that makes sense. But that is not. But that's something I could really, easily overlook. So with dislikes, I don't really have that many in this book. So my closing thoughts: if you haven't read Shirley Jackson's work, this is a good place to start. Or you could read the Haunting of Hill House like I did. But this is really easy and quick to read. 150 pages, you can't go wrong. It's really, really good. I took my time with reading this book. It's really good. I would highly recommend it, even if you're first time reading Shirley Jackson's work. And the rating for this, I was going to give it a 3.5 stars, but this book deserves a 4 stars out of 5 because it is that good. Really surprising good read. And I'll definitely be rereading this maybe next year. Well, probably next year. I'll actually make it I should make it a priority for me. So that's really been my review, guys. So it's been a bit longer than I anticipated it was going to be because I wanted to get into details. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you liked what you've seen. Have a look at my other videos. I've done loads of playlists now, so all my videos are in different playlist folders or whatever they are called. So please check out all my videos and comment if if you found this video useful, if you found it, if I've encouraged you to pick this book up and read it. Or if you don't like it, or if you like it, or if there's some parts of it which you think that I completely missed the point of, please do it in the comments down below, and we'll have your conversation about it. So yeah, that's been my video, guys. Stay safe, stay fit, and keep reading. And I will see you in my next video, which will be a mail time video. Where I will be talking about all the books I've got, in the post. I'm expecting one more, which should be coming in about a day or two. So I'll see you on my next video, guys. Bye.